this video I'm going to show you how to replace your old DE filter with the Pentair QUAD D.E filter. One thing to note about the QUAD D.E filter, unlike your traditional DE filter, the inlet and outlet are reversed. So the inlet will be on top and the outlet will be on bottom. And since the inlet and outlet are reversed on the QUAD D.E filter versus your standard DE filter, you have to install a specific backwash valve for the QUAD D.E filter. You cannot use a push-pull backwash valve type. And since I'm not going to use this backwash valve in the QUAD D.E filter, I'm going to remove it completely from the filter. I prefer installing the QUAD D.E filters without a backwash valve. The first thing you want to do is turn the power off to the pool. You're going to leave the power off at least for 24 hours or longer as the plumbing dries. So for the installation, you're going to need some kind of cutting tool to cut the PVC pipe, either a hacksaw or a pipe cutter. Depending how the pool is plumbed, you're going to need some elbows and some couplings to connect the filter. Also going to need some primer, also some PVC cement. I like using the Pool Heavy. You're going to need a ruler to measure the pipes. You're going to need something to mark the pipes with, like a Sharpie. And you'll need some straight PVC pipe. This here is 1.5 inch plumbing. And if the pipes are painted, you'll need some sandpaper to scrape the paint off. You need a rag also to wipe down everything and make sure the pipes go on clean. I'm going to cut the backwash off of the inlet right here and reuse this inlet section of the pipes. And I'm going to cut the outlet pipe off here at the elbow at the bottom. I'll just put a new elbow on and bring it back up. And when I was removing the old filter, this pipe snapped right here at the elbow. I'll just cut the elbow off and put a new fitting on here. It's not a real big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and do some dry fittings. I went ahead and marked the ruler here where the pipe's going to slide into the elbows and the couplings if you use those. See here it's marked. So make sure you calculate this when you do the dry fitting estimate. And I have some spare pieces already cut here, so I'm going to go ahead and use these here. This one here. This one's going to go here. And in this case, I'm using a 2-inch to 1.5 inch bushing. This is going to go into the unions right here like this. I'm going to go ahead and plumb the 2-inch to 1.5 inch bushing into the filter. Okay, I'm going to put some primer inside the union. Put some primer on the bushing. And when you're using primer, go ahead and wear gloves. This is very toxic. Okay, I'm going to apply some PVC cement on the bushing. Put it inside the union. Okay, I'm going to slide the bushing into the union. Push it in as far as it'll go. And you do this only if you have 1.5 inch plumbing going into this 2-inch union. Okay, I'll put some PVC cement here. And you want to slide the bushing in as far as you can. I'll put the elbow here where it's going to go into the filter. So I have it lined up. Then I'm going to mark it about 1.5 inches in here. That's where I'm going to make the first cut of the pipe. Okay, so I have my cutter lined up with the line here. I'm going to cut the pipe. And now you want to check the dry fitting. Good. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and line it up with this pipe here. I'm going to mark off inside the elbow. I'll mark off inside the elbow right here. That's where I'll make the cut. You can see that lines up nicely here with the dry fitting. So I'm going to go ahead and plumb it together now. Again, I'm going to move the filter over so it fits in there. I have room on this side to move it. I'm going to go ahead and mark the elbow so I know the angle that I'm going to glue them in at. That way I don't have any problems when I put it together. This one's going to go right here. And this one will line up here. And this one will line up here. This one should line up here. All the paint off. Okay, make sure that's nice and clean. I sanded the paint off. Apply some primer to the pipe here. I'll put some primer inside the elbow. I'm going to slide it together with the marks lined up. I'm going to slide it together. I'll put some primer here. my marks. You can still see it. Add some primer to the bushing. I'm going to push them both together. Make sure it's in there tight. Okay, I'm going to slide the union back into the filter. And this just needs to be hand tight. Okay, so the plumbing of the inlet is finished. Again, the inlet is on top on this particular filter. Okay, let me do a dry fitting here of the outlet. One elbow there. Okay, I have the elbow and I have the PVC pipe. I'm going to go bring it over to here. I'm going to cut it and bring it back into the outlet. I'll just use this spare piece of PVC pipe that I cut. Put it in the bushing in the outlet. So put an elbow here. So I'm going to mark it right about here. Let me see, this one's going to go here. I'll mark it right here. Okay, so I marked this pipe here going into this elbow here. Line up right about there. And this one also I'll mark. Looks like the dry fitting lines up nicely. Go ahead and mark it. Primer in the elbow. Push that firmly in place. Those together. Okay, I'm going to remove the union. Okay, you want to push them together tight. Put some PVC cement. Put some on this pipe here where the union's attached to it. Okay, I'm going to slide it together with the markings lining up. Cement. Okay, I'm going to line it up here. If you measured everything correctly, the union should slide right into the filter with no problems. So that's the installation of the Quad D filter. Again, the inlet and outlet are reversed. You have to do a little bit of replumbing. Let's look at installing a Pentair Quad D filter at your pool.